before we incarnated on the other side of the veil, before the levels of ETs and humans and all the different various dimensions, we were balls of light with our soul family. And we chose the exact people, characters, the roles we would play, our enemies, our best friends, our lovers, or all of that, to play these roles. And some of them might have been like, I don't want to stab you, or I don't want to be your enemy. But we decided that, and they're just playing these roles. And I just kind of always resonated with that. But people tend to look at what's happening in their life and take it personally, and not say that, oh, maybe I set this up as a lesson or an experience that my soul needed or my soul group needed. So can you talk to that, about how on the other side of the veil that we choose our blueprint and how that works?
We have described that exactly already in many videos. And the way that we describe it, it's as if when you are incarnating, it is like you are walking into a movie theater and sitting down to watch a movie. And so you're starting to, from your soul perspective, obviously the soul is the one sitting in the seat. But what's true is that oftentimes the story is so engaging that you completely lose yourself in the unfoldment of the movie. But what happens at the end is that you get up and you walk out of the movie, and then you realize, wow, that was such an interesting and fun story. I want to go back and see another movie. And so that is how we describe it, but it is along the same lines as how you are describing it. And so before you incarnate, you do set up what we call a divine blueprint, in which you have a plan. Now, every soul is different within their divine blueprint. Let us talk about that for a moment, because for some, it is very specific, and for some, it is broad. So if you think of it in terms of the analogy of going on vacation, some people, when they are setting up a trip, they plan every detail, right? They want to know where they're going to be on every day. And that is a valid choice. And some people, when they're on vacation, they literally just get on a plane, and then they get off the plane and they have no plan. And so that's true too within your divine blueprint. But most people, in terms of, there's a middle ground in which you do make plans, but just like a road trip or a vacation, you are also free to make new choices once you're actually here and you have had these different experiences. But in terms of the trajectory of the soul is always here to play the game of realigning and remembering who it is, and then starting to emanate, as we said before, that unique soul frequency. What's true is that can be a difficult mission in this particular climate, right? Because it's easy to lose yourself in the conditioning and the programming and the mental construct. But when you do start to rediscover who it is you are, and you do start to remember what lights you up, what you feel passionate about, and when you get back on that path of that unfoldment, what's true is that this feeling of exhilaration returns. And some people mistake that exhilaration for the external, but we would say that exhilaration, what that exhilaration is from, is the reunion with your soul energy, so to speak.
That's beautiful. I love that. So speaking of the soul energy, we come here with a blueprint. And don't we also have guides and helpers along the way?
Yes. So we have said before as well that it is always a team effort. And so the way that we describe that is that many beings, when they incarnate and they find themselves here, they feel very alone. You know, it's like, okay, here I am. I'm an individual. I'm living out this life experience. What's true is that the unfoldment that you think of as your life is actually a team effort. Meaning, if you think of any sports team, they're all working together for a common goal. And so all your guides and guardians in other dimensions of reality are aware of what this common goal is. And we are all working together as a team to make that happen, if you will. And so once you remember that, then you start to be able to call upon the wisdom and the guidance from those in other dimensions to help you reach that goal. Now, we don't love the word goal, because we want you to be in the moment and play and experience life. But the goal, if there is one, as we said, is to reconnect and realign with your soul self and begin to broadcast that out in terms of this earth plane. And so your guides and your guardians are helping you do that. Now, they don't have really permission to assist you until you give them permission to assist you. You have free will here, and you need to directly ask. And so if any watching are in that feeling of confusion or chaos, and you don't know which way to turn, then one very good starting point is to ask your guides and your guardians for help. And they speak to you and they communicate with you in many different ways. They obviously will speak and communicate with you when you're in the meditative state. They also speak and communicate with you through other humans. So someone that you meet randomly may say something to you when that's actually your guide or guardian speaking to you. They may direct your eyes to look at a specific sign or billboard or license plate to give you information. There are many different ways that these extra dimensionals are communicating with you all the time. You just have to pay attention to it.
Thank you. I know a lot of, I feel like when they're communicating, it's synchronicity. And then people sometimes think like law of attraction could be doing it. But I truly believe that all of that is an energy that someone's orchestrating, or entities, or we're all orchestrating, because we're all one. So
Definitely.
when you see those repeating numbers like 333 or 444 or 555, like I do every day, it always makes me feel like, okay, I'm on the right track. Somebody's out there. My team is out there rooting for me. And anytime I've ever really, truly asked out loud for something and it said like, if I'm supposed to do this, please show me a sign, I've always gotten one. But you have to look for that sign. And like you said, you have to ask. And I've told this to people for years, because a lot of people feel foolish asking out loud.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like when you ask out loud, as foolish as you might feel,
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like you're saying to them, I believe that I'm willing to put myself out there, but also the frequency and the vibration of the voice.
Yes.
And the way it goes through the ether, and then we're all connected and quantum entangled, is much more effective than just thinking it. Is that true?
We would agree with that. Anytime you vocalize anything, not just your prayer or your request for help, but anytime you vocalize an intent for your future or a desire or anything, anytime you vocalize it, you're taking it from the ethereal and you're starting to solidify it into this physical reality. And so we would say, of course, anytime you want to start to solidify something into physical reality in terms of requesting help, well, yes, vocalize it and start to manifest from this feeling tone that it will be acknowledged and received, right? So you want to vocalize that with as much as you can, the full knowing that that request will be honored and responded to.